I'm just getting adjusted here. Was running a little bit late. Let me get myself going. All right, guys, if you're not watching live, you'll be watching it later once it downloads. I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Wait for some viewers to get in there. Like I said, I am running so far behind, but hey, we are here. And we got some big stuff to talk about, considering I'm absolutely sick to my stomach with the TJ Watt snub. That's going to be a big one we talk about this fine evening. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about the NFL honors in general and just some things going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers as they added a couple coaches since the last time we talked. A lot of things going on. Again, guys, I apologize. I'm running a couple minutes late. Mr. Malone, do I remember you? I'm not sure. Do I know you in like outside life or just from the channel? I think I remember you from the channel. I'm not sure. If you have any comments, guys, put it in the comments section. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. I'm going to get my computer fired up here. That way I can gather any information that we need as we move through the show. And also, guys, thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me here at Mike Drop Sports. This is our Friday live show, as we are going to be going live probably 3 to 4 times a week now. Just to talk Steelers, just to talk about what's going on in the world of the NFL in general. So we're going to get things moving, as I said here. Bear with me a little bit as I get everything fired up here and going. But anything you guys really want to talk about, go ahead and feel free to put in the chat and we will get going with it. Nova Racer, what's up, my man? I would like to do a live show at Sean's house, Nova Racer. He lives in the jungle down there in Hawaii, man. He's sent me some pictures and stuff. I've seen some things from him. Yeah, it's pretty wild. I'd love to do that shit. That'd be amazing. We've actually talked about that one day. I said if the channel ever gets big enough to afford me the opportunity, I would like to go down there and do one on the beach, like during the season or something. That'd be sick. Yeah, Mr. Malone, I think I do remember you, man. Yeah, I do. I do remember your name on there. Yes, I do. Yeah. All right. What do you guys think about those coaching moves? We are going to talk about the TJ Watt thing. Nova Racer sent me an interesting article. Maybe he could post it in the comments. The link to the article from 2022 talking about Myles Garrett and the way he is basically a turd. So, I don't know, guys. I'm super pissed off about this. Let's just get into that right off the jump here. And I'm sure we'll talk about it throughout the show. TJ Watt not getting Defensive Player of the Year is an absolute sickening travesty. And these guys, the 50 or so voters, these sports media so-called experts, which I'm going to use the expert term very, very loosely, is absolute and complete utter bullshit. And I can't even hold it back. TJ Watt led in every major category if you stack him up against Myles Garrett. Every category. Touchdown. He had a touchdown. He had fumbles, fumble recoveries, forced fumbles, sacks, tackles for loss. What the only thing Myles Garrett may have led in is some bullshit pro football focused dumb ass shit. That was pressure on the quarterback here and there. TJ Watt meant the most to his team, and I don't give a shit what anybody has to say. That was absolute robbery last night. And for anybody to cast a vote for a guy that didn't beat the guy that should have really won it in any major category, except for a dumb pro football focused category, it's ridiculous. And you can't call yourself some expert or insider if you're going to cast a vote like that. And that's just my opinion. Myles Garrett is not that dude. He is a very good football player. I will give him that. He never even recorded a sack in his last 7 games. Nick Herbig had more sacks than him. And Nick Herbig played 5 snaps a game? I mean, let's get real. When your team really needed you, you were non-existent if you're Myles Garrett. Non-existent. Completely non-existent. And Man, if I was Myles Garrett, I would have been embarrassed as shit getting up there and accepting that award. I would have probably got up there and said, "Man, I got to give this award to the real guy, T.J. Watt, the guy that beat me out in every major category." Sorry, guys. Let's get to some of these comments. Nova, Myles Garrett, Factory of Sadness. Yeah, go look that up. Nova Racer sent me that. That was a good article, Nova. A good read. Myles was already in trouble for punching another player before the Mason incident. Yeah, Myles Garrett seemed to have a rough road, and if things aren't going his way, it seems as though he's going to cry and act out like a baby, like a child. Come on. I cannot believe what happened last night with that. And we all knew that. The NFL had Myles Garrett in October on their background of their main page as the Dpoy then. Like, I mean, come on. Zachary Hoffman, who cares? We want to win a championship, not Dpoy and Lloyd's. Let's get it for goodness sake. Let's go get it for good. Dude, I agree about the championships. But this is the offseason right now, and the Steelers aren't playing in the Super Bowl. And when you get robbed of a major award, an award that TJ Watt should have won several times here in the last handful of seasons, it just sheds light on the idiocracy of the NFL and its leadership and the way they cast these ballots for these awards and things of that nature. It's absolutely disgusting, and you got to cast the ballot for the real guy, for the guy that deserves it, not because you think it's time you're due for Myles Garrett to win one. Oh, okay, that's bullshit. Sorry, in my eyes, I want to win a Lombardi more than anything if I were the Steelers, and as a fan base, I think that's what we should be majorly concerned on. But when our guy, our superstar, our Hall of Fame guy, the best defensive player in the world, gets absolutely shit in his face and snubbed the way he did, I can't hold back. I got to say what it is. I got to give the truth, and that is the truth. TJ Watt is the best defender in the entire planet. He means the most to a football team. A 1-11 record without TJ Watt, a guy that is an absolute difference maker. It's just hands down, he deserves to have the accolades too. Fuzzy, right on. TJ is number 90. Respect. No doubt, I got mad respect for TJ Watt. A guy that fights through a lot of shit that we don't even know about. A guy that fights through a lot of injuries. He's banged up with his way of play, the way he flexes his body, the way he attacks passers, the way he attacks runners. The guy is banged up a hell of a lot more than we even know, and he's out there and he is giving it 9,000% every snap. And to have that on the football field around some of these young guys too, like Nick Herbig, is a blessing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you don't have that often. And hopefully that kind of attitude rubs off on some of these players heading into the 2024 season, in my opinion. Nova Racer, it's just disgusting. They push a player with his background for an award over a player that's never been in trouble is disgusting. I can't argue, man. I can't argue at all. Spot on. Beer Malls, that's a charity award. Myles Garrett got a participation trophy, and the NFL has no problem handing it out. Exactly. And I gotta say this, and it may rub somebody the wrong way, and I'll apologize, but not really, because the truth's the truth. We live in a society of coddling people and just being bull. The whole thing's bullshit. The way we want to give what Beer Mall just said, participation trophies. This guy might deserve it. You know, he hasn't ever had one. Let's just give it to him. That's the type of society that we're breeding. We're showing people and our children and our youth that it's okay to be mediocre, and it's okay that eventually you'll just get something given to you. And that is an absolute bullshit way of thinking. I'm sorry. And I don't mean to be cursing up a storm tonight, because I know some people ain't down for that. But I am super fired up about it. We can't continue this. It needs to go back to the way it used to be. The best player gets that award. The best player gets the accolades. Hands down, period. Oh, my God. Anything else about that, guys? Well, I'm sure we'll continue to talk about it a little bit through the show. But like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. Make sure you hit that like button, though, to send us into the YouTube algorithm. I'd appreciate it. I believe you can find it like in the top corner or something like that. You can hit the like button, but please do. That helps us out a great deal. Also, thank you for joining us here on Mic Drop Sports. If you've never been here before, my name's Jason. But we appreciate you again for stopping by. Nova, it just really bothers me more after all the players are coming out saying he lied about the Mason incident. Yeah, that rubs me bad, man. That's one thing, man. I ain't down for no racial bullshit. You don't ever say it to nobody. You don't never dog nobody because of what their race is. I don't play that shit. That's one thing I don't do. Like the race stuff, the race baiting, anything like that, that's out of it for me, man. You don't do that. It doesn't matter what somebody's race is. We're all people, and that's it. Period. I don't do the race stuff. But for Myles Garrett to openly lie about it and basically be proven to be a liar, to say somebody called you a racial slur like that is absolute heinous thing to do to somebody. Heinous. You don't do that, man. You don't get somebody that label. That's a bad thing to carry, man. And Mason Rudolph has been nothing but upstanding in the way he's handled that situation. That's a heavy burden to bear, especially when you play a position like the quarterback position, a position that you already have the weight of the world on your shoulders. And Mason Rudolph has done nothing but stellar things, in my opinion, when you listen to his teammates, guys that used to be his teammates, talk about the respect they have for him. And it doesn't matter, teammates of all colors of skin, all different, all different backgrounds, and they all love him, and they all see the respect, or show the respect to him, and really, really show a lot of love for him, man. And that's big, and that just tells me one thing, that he never said that shit. Marquise Pouncey even came out, a guy that was right there, and said he didn't even say that kind of stuff, and that bothers me deeply, man. And I don't like liars. That's one thing I don't like, is liars, man. Everybody can tell a little white lie, a little fib here and there. That it is what it is, dude. Sometimes you get caught up in it, but you don't lie about significant things like that. You just, especially 5 days later. 5 days later, you're gonna come out and say that. Get a life, dude. That's ridiculous. Man. Now, I did have a little bit of respect for Myles Garrett whenever he said earlier in the season that when people were trying to label Minkah Fitzpatrick as a shitty guy for Nick Chubb getting hurt, for deliberately blowing out his knee, he did stand up and say that that wasn't the case. So I'll give him that one. But other than that, I ain't got nothing for him, man. Nova Mason's doing everything just to try and get on the field after that. And when the guy who lied publicly about that to save his own ass is getting charity awards. Absolutely. And it makes you wonder. It really does make you wonder here, guys. Has Mason Rudolph sat on the bench because of something like that? Did that get in Mike Tomlin's head to where he was kind of like, you know what? Maybe that did happen. Maybe I ain't down for that. I don't know. I'm just saying, could that be the case? I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it's the definitive thing and that actually happened, because I don't know. I'm not in that building. But could that have happened? Possibly. Definitely. Possibly, man. For sure. No doubt about it. All right, guys, put some more things inside of the chat if you want to talk about anything else. I'm just like super, super fired up about this TJ Watt snub. I'm super fired up about the way Myles Garrett is praised and treated like a god by the NFL, treated like a god by some fans. It's just stupid, man. It really, really is. Sorry, I'm bringing some things up here on the computer and making sure I have some things to reference. What do you think, Nova? What do you think about all the coaching additions, and Tomlin still hasn't gotten an extension? It's a good one, man. We've been talking about that, and dude, it makes you wonder. It really, really does make you wonder what has went on inside of that building. You're seeing all these changes. You're seeing things that the Steelers normally don't do. They don't add extra coaches to things. They don't have more than one coach, or more than just the basics. You know what I mean? They always have the quarterback's coach, the receivers coach, the normal shit. But for them to have extra coaches, adding different layers to the coaching tree within that building, it's definitely special, and it makes you wonder what happened. Does Mike Tom did the brass lose faith in Mike Tomlin? And with the loyalty of Rooney and not wanting to ever fire a coach, did that save him for another season? If Khan maybe would have had his way, would Mike Tomlin already be gone this year? Or is that the reason he hasn't had the extension? They're just going to let it ride out so they don't have to fire him and they can continue their way of not ever firing a coach. Is this his last audition? It makes you really, really wonder, guys. Things are really heating up inside of the Steelers building, and I'm hoping it's in a good way, and I think most of it has been this offseason. But it makes you wonder about Mike Tomlin. You saw Cam Heyward last night basically in tears saying he wouldn't want to play for any other coach. But hey, I wouldn't want to play for any other coach too if I didn't have to be disciplined. I'm just saying that may be the thing. Mike Tomlin rubs me the wrong way lately too. So, I may get out of line sometimes with some of the comments about him. Camden Ricker, we need Ben Roethlisberger back. Don't you agree? I'd love to have Big Ben back, no doubt. But I want Big Ben, prime Big Ben. I don't want old Big Ben. Old Big Ben didn't do it for me. Old Big Ben just wasn't it, man. He was still that Hall of Fame guy, but he didn't have the ability to get out of the pocket the way he did, scramble around, take some of the hits he did. Yeah, are used to when he was younger. It just wasn't the same Ben Roethlisberger out there, and I applaud him for all that he's done for the city of Pittsburgh, the sports team. Maybe he had some character stuff, but I'll take that for a couple of Lombardis and playing for one with Mikey T and lost it. But that's neither here nor there. All right, Beer Malls. I think Tomlin is on the hot seat all next season. I do too, Beer Malls. I really do. And I think what Nova was saying on there, this is definitely it. This is definitely the reason I think he will be on the hot seat and that he hasn't got an extension. It's because Khan probably has grown tired and has watched it now when he wasn't the general manager, when he was Kevin Colbert's right-hand man, and now that he is the guy, now that Khan is the guy, I think he's really trying to be influential inside of this franchise and really make it better and turn it around. And I think he's not going to tolerate mediocrity for far too much longer. I think it's just going to end, and I think he's not going to be able to tolerate it. And if I were the general manager, I wouldn't tolerate it either, because that's my job on the line, and I wouldn't jeopardize my livelihood just because of some bullshit record, maybe, and even being extra loyal when you don't need to be. Mike Tomlin has been there for almost 2 decades. Okay. Maybe it's time to move on. Maybe it's time to separate. Maybe it's time for change. He's the longest tenured head coach in the NFL right now. And again, he's almost been there for 2 decades. He's done his thing, man. It's nothing to be ashamed of to get a fresh start. It's not a horrible thing to maybe find somebody different. It's just, I don't know. Camden Ricker, yes, I agree with that. First time that Rooney publicly said if Tomlin is cutting it, he will be gone too. I took it that way too. I mean, I took it that way, what he said. I think he has grown tired, as he said. They're growing impatient, and a franchise that has 6 Super Bowls can only put up with it maybe for so long, but they've put up with it for a very long time. This is a decade-long stretch of horrible teams, in my opinion. You're not reaching the Super Bowl. You're not competing in the playoffs. You're not doing anything special. You're just backing your ass into the playoffs here and there. You're not doing anything great. It's just the same old mediocrity. I don't know. I just wouldn't be down for it. It's just me. You would have thought that he would extend Tomlin before hiring all these coaches. You would think so, and you would think some of these coaches that are coming in too, that's a good point, Nova. You would think some of these coaches that are coming in, new coaches, would want that security that the head coach is going to be there, the offensive coordinator. Well, they did ink, I think, Arthur Smith to a 3-year deal, so these guys coming in under Arthur Smith may feel a little sense of security that he's going to be there for at least 3 years, but I thought coaches would get a little leery about coming to a franchise where the head man isn't secured for, an extended period of time because of that, because they don't want to have to keep flipping around and moving their families either. They want to have some sort of stability. And yes, the Steelers being loyal and stable, maybe that's the reason they come. But yeah, you would think that. I often wondered that too. Beer Malls, when was the last time we hosted a playoff game in Pittsburgh? The city and the owners want that for sure. Yeah, no doubt. We should be in the divisional playoff round consistently. Absolutely, man. Absolutely, we should. There's talent on this roster, guys. I know there's a lot of pundits out there that say the Steelers are a very long way off from competing, and I find that to be really not the truth. If you look at this roster, you look at the talent that has been on the field, you look at the defenses that have been put out there, look at the 2023 defense as a whole. They were beat the hell up, man, on the field a ton, and still were able to manufacture wins, close out wins, and keep this Steelers team in the hunt. And that is a big thing. And that's nothing to really say is horrible. They ranked sixth in points allowed inside of the NFL. That's a pretty damn good statistic. I can't really bark at that. I mean, there's talent on this roster. Really, there is. And I think it's underutilized, and I think that there wasn't the correct scheme in place. And I think the quarterback play had a lot to do with that. And I think there's some other variables inside of that locker room maybe that had some things to do with that. Structure, stability, things of that nature, discipline. So we'll see. It is what it is. Rose for Toes, what's up? Let's keep going here. Sleeping Lady, we've had too much talent not to win some playoff games these last 7 years. Shaking my head. Hopefully, we see one soon. Yeah, that was a good question. Sleeping Lady says it. Beer Mall says it. When was the last time the Steelers actually hosted? Oh, they hosted Cleveland when Ben was here, and they got embarrassed in the first round, and another disappointing first round exit from your boy Mikey T. Challenger, glad Rooney is showing some balls for a change. Absolutely. I'm glad to see this in this offseason, for sure, no doubt. Lamar Jackson, MVP. Usually running back don't get MVPs. Amen. I'm still waiting, guys. If there's any Ravens fans in here now, I don't know. If there's any guys that are Lamar Jackson supporters, I can't call this guy a franchise quarterback for being the MVP of the regular season. He doesn't win big games. His playoff record is horrible. Horrible. Half the time he isn't even there because he's beat up. And I like that comment. Running backs usually don't win MVPs. Absolutely. I get it. I can't call Lamar Jackson an elite franchise quarterback until he wins some damn big games. And until that happens, in my eyes, he is not that. He is just a athlete, and a very good athlete. I'm not saying that he isn't, but he is a very good athlete that can win some games inside of the regular season, but they just don't get it done whenever the chips are down. It is what it is. Proof's in the pudding, man. I don't have to say anything, really. Let's see. I think there was serious talk about Tomlin going to Washington during that bad stretch until Mason came in and saved his ass and his job. I don't know about that. I don't know. Maybe there was. I wish I did know. I wish I had a definitive source that would really tell me that. But that's quite possibly the truth. They may have been thinking that. But really, yeah, maybe making it to the playoffs really helped his chances to come in for his final season. Maybe that was it, man. I would really love to know. These so-called insiders aren't really giving you any inside information. They don't ever tell us the real shit. I don't know. It's just crazy. Yeah, Jay Glazer and them hinted at it, and that's usually accurate because he's friends with Mike Tomlin, that type of stuff, but it's just so hard to pinpoint. Bo QB that was paid big dollars, paid off A-Rod, Watson, Russ, Lamar, etc. Absolutely. How many, all those people you just named, how many Super Bowl are there inside of those people that you just named? You know, one from Russ. That's it. That's it, man. All that money that's dumped into these quarterbacks right here, these franchises that dump shit tons of money into them, have zero Lombardis to prove or to show their investment, further investment. And Russell Wilson is the only one that won one. And he had a monster defense when they won that. I mean, a badass defense. So that wasn't all Russ. Russ played really well. I won't say that. But man, he had a monster defense for sure. Beer Malls, I've seen the bags get darker under Tomlin's eyes as the season progressed. His final show on what really went down was when he walked out of the press conference after the Bills game. You could visibly see the frustration. You could visibly see the way that season was starting to bog down Mike Tomlin for sure. But he has nobody to blame but himself. When you watched Mitchell Trubisky come in against the Arizona Cardinals and they wind up losing that game due to subpar quarterback play, I understand the delays, all that shit, all those variables. I get it. But Mitchell Trubisky was not good enough to win that football game. You had Mason Rudolph that you knew things about. You knew him to be in that building for many years. You should have immediately turned to him and give him at least a chance. What's the worst could have happened? You would have had to go back to Mitch and wait for Kenny to get healthy. That would have been the worst thing to happen. But Mike Tomlin, being so damn stubborn, wouldn't pull the trigger on Mason Rudolph because he didn't want to admit that he was wrong about Mitchell Trubisky. He didn't want to look like like a turd, because he paid Mitchell Trubisky all that money to bring him in and listen to his good friend Sean McDermott in Buffalo and listened to him and said that Mitchell really rebounded. He's ready to go. He's ready to ball out. When Mitchell did nothing up there in Buffalo, he came in a preseason game or something and did well. Come on, that ain't enough, dude. But Mike Tomlin fell for the bait, picked him up, gave him, $20 million so far? $10 million a year? Some shit like that? Come on. It's time to part ways. Admit you're wrong. You don't always have to be right. Just say sometimes you messed up. You took a chance on a guy. Okay, well, I'd have more respect for you if you just said that. Guys, we took a chance on him. He failed. He wasn't the dude we thought he was. We're going to let him go. We're going to get rid of him. It was a bad decision on our end. But look, we learned from it. We're ready to suck it up and press on. That's where I would get more respect from somebody. What up, Sean? Epic Expeditions. Guys, go like Epic Expeditions page. Give him some likes and subscribes and all that stuff once he starts uploading some content. That way you got a good jump. That's our boy, Sean. Sean, sorry, dude. I didn't know if you were working or anything. It was Friday, so I decided I'm going to go solo and rock it out here. But thank you for stopping in, my friend. We'll talk soon. Challenger, I thought Rooney said an extension was in the works for Tomlin. I thought he did too, but I don't until I see it. In the works don't mean shit to me. You know, that's the thing when they say those things like, yeah, it's in, I don't know. I don't got a good feeling or I don't got any real thoughts or feelings about it until I actually see it, until I see it really happen, you know? So we'll see what happens down the road with Mikey T. Beer Malls, after those 2 home game losses with the 2-10 teams, I got that feeling like the season was over. Yeah, it was looking like the Steelers were trying to die there. They were trying to give away the season, which isn't typical of a Pittsburgh Steelers team. And I'm really, really saddened by the way, though, they didn't make changes quicker. When you lose like the way they were losing to the teams they were losing to, it was time to make some drastic changes. And pulling Mitchell Trubisky had to be the key, man. And you saw him fail so many times. You let him be the starter for so many games until you put Kenny in. You've tried the Mitchell Trubisky thing, and then Kenny gets hurt yet again for the gazillionth time, 7th time, and literally you watch him over and over commit the same mistakes. And if you're Mike Tomlin, you have to be held accountable for that, guys. You have to be. We have to hold him accountable. That was shitty. That was shitty management. That was shitty situational football, man. Crap. Really was. And it is what it is. Nova Racer, what's up, Sean? Oh, yeah, he's talking to Sean. Okay. Jesse James, we still need a QB. We do. Jesse James. Oh, man. Are you the Jesse James from the Pittsburgh Steelers? Just messing with you, man. Yeah, you're right, dude. We do need a QB, and I'm hoping they sign Mason Rudolph, not Rudon. Where the hell did I say that? But Rudolph. I hope they bring him back. That is the most cheap or economical answer. And a guy that knows the situation, knows the building, knows the team, knows the players, and the players support him in a big way. They have voiced it all off season so far, their support for Mason Rudolph. And that has to make you feel good as a franchise. You should make a concerted effort to bring him back. And I really do think that there is a plan in place, that there is a deal that Mason Rudolph is already thinking about in place from the Pittsburgh Steelers. They just can't act on it until I think March. So I think there is something in the works with that. And I think Mason will have to make a decision pretty quickly if I were him. That way the Steelers can figure out what they're doing too. But he doesn't owe anything to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So if he just says, I'm going to sit on it for a while, that's his choice. And I can't blame him for not being super loyal if that happens. So we'll see. We have a QB. They just have need to resign. Yeah, I think so. We'll see how that goes. Blueberry Man 28. We need a better O-line. Absolutely. That's in my mock draft that's going to be coming out next week. You will see. I'll give a little teaser. I do think, though, that they will draft an offensive lineman in rounds 1 and 2. That's my theory. I think that's what's going to happen. If they're smart, that's what I think they do. Because as we've said a million times, building a foundational offensive line for the future, 2 good tackles, a good center. That's what you need to do. That's how you win championships. That's how you start to get better. And if you're going to run a Arthur Smith offense, you have to have a solid offensive line. And guys like Mason Cole, guys like Dan Moore Jr. just might not cut it, guys. They just might not. Dan Moore Jr. does have potential, but it's very slow growth in my eyes, considering the amount of starts he's had. Beer Malls, I think we had just as good of a chance to beat the Chiefs in the championship game as the Ravens did this year. You might be right, man. The playoffs are all about getting on a roll, guys, for sure. Being a good regular season team helps, but you saw what happened to the Ravens. They got beat by a team that knows how to win in the playoffs. They got on a roll. They got hot. And I think having your first home or your first playoff game of the season at home really helps. And that's why it's killing the Steelers with these Mike Tomlin mediocre performances in the regular season, just barely squeaking into the playoffs. You're constantly going on the road. You have to fight that variable for a team that's looking to get its footing again, a team that's looking to get that first playoff win in a long time. You need that home atmosphere to be able to get that. That really helps. You need the fans behind you. You need that atmosphere in order to be successful. That's just my thoughts on it. I think that's what starts to get you on a roll. The built different beans. Our O-line was better at the end of the season. We need center and put Broderick on the side he's most comfortable. Absolutely, but you're going to have to get another tackle because I don't think Chukwuekorfor will be back with the Steelers, and Dan Moore Jr. is not going to go over and play the right side. So if you're the Steelers, you're going to have to figure something out, and that's through the draft in my eyes. I think that there's several quality tackles, and they could grab one inside of that first round at 20. There is a good chance that they could get a quality guy there. And if not, I would maybe go with the center out of Oregon. And if you don't get one of those 2 things in the first round, maybe, or the center in the first round, you go and get that Zach Frazier from West Virginia if he's available in the second round with pick 51. I think that would be a perfect fit. A guy that's familiar with the region. Morgantown's super close to Pittsburgh. I live on the outskirts of Pennsylvania, right in Morgantown, right in an area called Cheat Lake. So that will tell you how close. Pittsburgh is super close. I can be there in like an hour, if that. Just depends, I guess. So, he's familiar, and I think it would be a positive fit. A guy that seems like he would fit really well inside of that building. Let's see. Let's get to some more comments. Nova, if Kenny didn't get our D killed, Mason could have taken us to the show. As close as we got to beating the Bills in our record against the Ratbirds. Absolutely. Nobody can deny, guys, the Pittsburgh Steelers' record in the regular season inside of the AFC North at 5-1. That's the best record inside of the division. And you had the Baltimore Ravens, whom the Steelers beat twice in the AFC Championship game. So, the Steelers just needed that little kick. They got within 7 points of the Bills. maybe if they'd have got that win, they would have got on that roll. I'm not sure. I would have liked our chances greatly headed into Baltimore in round 2. I really would. It's hard to play the what if games though. It's really tough for me. Challenger. I don't see anything that justifies Garrett win Defensive Player of the Year over Watt. None. Zero. No, dude. We let off the show with that Challenger. I'm not sure if you were in here, but I was on a freaking tirade about it, and I'm still super pissed. Anybody else that's joined us, if you guys have any comments about that situation, TJ Watt getting absolutely shit on, and the NFL looking like complete fools on the national stage by handing Myles Garrett the Defensive Player of the Year award. They look foolish. They look like a rigged system. They looked exactly like what most people call them. People that fix shit, rigged, fake. They did look like that because Myles Garrett did not deserve that award, period. And you don't want to shed that kind of light on yourself if you're the NFL. And I have no ties to the NFL. I have no ties to the Steelers building. I can say the truth, and that is the truth. The NFL at times does some shady shit, guys. Really super shady shit. And it more and more, it's starting to come to the surface, and it's starting to be bothersome to me anyway, and I'm sure it is for you guys too. Nova, Dan needs to be cut. I sure hope Tomlin isn't making the personnel decisions on the offense this year. Him playing his pets has to stop. Absolutely. And I really do, guys. I don't know what you guys think. Why don't you guys put it in the comments about Arthur Smith and what kind of responsibilities he will be able to hold. Mike Tomlin that Mike Tomlin will allow him to hold. Will Arthur Smith be able to make all personnel decisions? And I think the answer is yes, because of what we were talking about earlier, Nova, with Omar Khan and possibly the way he has become so frustrated and he's not going to tolerate it much more and has kind of put Mike Tomlin on notice of you have to let the coordinators do their jobs. You have to stop micromanaging. And in order to be successful, that's what you have to do. And if you're not going to be willing to do that, we're not going to re-sign you and we're just going to part ways after the 2024 season. I think that that's a big variable. And I think that Arthur Smith is going to be able to do those things. I think he will be able to make his own decisions, personnel-wise, coaching-wise. I think that he definitely has all the keys, man. I think he holds all of those. And I don't think Mike Tomlin is going to interfere greatly in it. But let's face it, Mike Tomlin's the head coach, and he is ultimately responsible for all of this. So I'm sure he has the final say. I'm just thinking that Arthur Smith has a little bit more pull than a Matt Canada, than maybe even a Todd Haley back in the day. Those types of guys, maybe. We'll see. Beer Malls, wild, wonderful West Virginia, beautiful state. Love those rivers down there. Absolutely, but it's such an ass backward state, guys. I love the people. The people I love. The people are so cool. The beauty of the state is so cool. But the government in the state of West Virginia is so ass backwards, so weird. It's odd, man. It really is. Until you live here, it's so hard to describe it to you. Till you see it yourself, it's, oh my Lord. It is something to see. It definitely is. Challenger, KC will win the Super Bowl. It's all rigged. Travis Swift saga continues. Strike me dead if I'm wrong. You might be right, man. You might be right. And man, you wonder. You wonder sometimes. I don't think the NFL is rigged. I think some of the narratives they try to spin, though, are definitely rigged. And I think they nudge things along a little bit to go into the direction that they want them to be and to spin the narrative that they want to spin. And I think that that is the truth. And they really probably should stop that before they ruin the quality of their game. I mean, it's crazy. Kevin Iserman, good leadership is trusting the folks that are there to support you. Absolutely. A good team, an all-around team, a true team that is cohesive and can work together, has trust. And until you have that, you're not going to be good. You're not going to win. You're not going to win championships. You're not going to be able to get through. It's just crazy. Hold on, guys. I'm going to grab a drink. All right, guys. This is Mike Drop Sports. I'm Jason. If you haven't subscribed, hit like, all that fun stuff. Make sure you do hit the like, though. That really helps us out. I only see 4 likes up there now. So everybody that's been here, we've been up to like almost 100. So make sure you hit that like button. It helps the show out greatly. I appreciate it very, very, very much. Also, guys, I noticed people did put in like super chats and stuff, and I thank you so much for those. You really don't have to do that, but I truly, truly appreciate it. I don't know. YouTube might charge weird ways and things like that, and I don't want people to spend extra money. So I put my Cash App thing. If you ever want to support our show, my Cash App link is in there. So maybe that's a better option. I just wanted to give other options if people do that because I don't like YouTube grabbing somebody's money or something, like if they charge you to do that, which I don't know. I've never sent one to anybody, so I don't know. So I just wanted to make sure there was an option available, so I put that in the links section also. All right, Nova. I guess the excuse of Rooney being cheap to cover for Tomlin hiring his crony yes men has been debunked after hiring some real coaches. I bet he was told things had to change for him to stay. I think you're right, man. I really, really do. And I think when you hire from within constantly, how is there ever any change? It can't. Everybody has the same thought process, as everybody is used to the same things. Everybody is geared up in the same way. And until you change that, until you bring in outside guys with new ideas like they're doing now, which they're changing that, and I applaud it, nothing changes. That's why I think this is an amazing offseason so far. So I think let's talk about those guys that they just hired too. What do you think about Tom Arth? And what do you think about Azani, the new former New York Jet wide receiver coach? He is now the wide receiver coach, I believe. Yeah, he's the wide receiver coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And now Tom Arth is the quarterback coach. And also, they are retaining Mike Sullivan in another role. I'm not sure what that role is. If it has been released, let me know because I don't know what that role may be. So I think that those are definitely good moves. I think both of them young guys, young minds, could really benefit the Pittsburgh Steelers on offense. And I think Arthur Smith is becoming very smart in how he's building this offensive coaching staff around him. Guys that are young, guys that are innovative. And he's kind of like the elder statesman, the guy that knows how to really get things done, is going to take all these new ideas and blend them into something that's possibly going to be quite special. And that's just what we can hope for if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, for sure. Sorry, guys, I glanced over. My fish tank is like catty corner right to me from my little booth here that I've built. And it looked like one of my fish were like floating upside down, so I had to glance over real quick. I thought one of them croaked. But hey, maybe that's a good thing. They're a little bit annoying. They don't do much, and you just got to feed them. But anyway, all right. Let's keep moving. Beer Malls. Top right 3 dots. Click it and you will see the like button. Yeah, man. Top right 3 dots. That's where I thought it was. Go ahead and hit that, guys. Make sure you smash that like button for me. Kick this live show into the YouTube algorithm because I greatly, greatly appreciate it. And that's the real help that I need. I always appreciate super chats and stuff, but the big help that I need, the most important thing that I need is to hit those that like button, just because it kicks me out into the world of YouTube. And that's the thing I'm trying to defeat, is the algorithm. So you just want to get noticed with the other shows and things of that nature. So that really helps. So I appreciate it. Okay, why? Arguing a Dpoy that's already been given out seems kind of useless. No, it doesn't in my eyes. I'm not arguing it. Well, I guess you could kind of say that. But you got to bring to light when there are wrongs made. And when there's big time wrongs made, you got to say something about it. Now, will I sit on this forever? Absolutely not. Will I bring it up all the time after this? Probably not. What's done is done. But I do have a problem with the NFL doing what they did. And it's not right. It looks really bad on them. It's just something that is bothersome, and I think it deserves to be talked about. I think it deserves to be brought to light, because if you just sweep things under the rug and say, oh, it is what it is, how does anything ever change? And that supposedly it's like a group of 50 writers or something, 50 NFL insider writer guys, whatever, analysts that vote on this shit. Come on now. Open it up. Let's talk about something though that's a good thing. Cameron Heyward winning the Walter Payton Man of the Year. That was awesome, guys. I really thought that was so well deserved and such an amazing thing for Cam Heyward. And it was the award that I feel like means the most out of all of them. The award that matters the most to people. And I thought that was cool. Cam Heyward truly deserved it. Cam Heyward deserves recognition for that. He has been the finalist for the Pittsburgh Steelers for the past 6 seasons. A guy that really does a lot inside of the community and makes a difference. And that is the most important thing to me in my eyes with the platform that these guys in the NFL have. They are multi-millionaires. And I love to see them do good with it and not require all the attention. Look at me shit. Cameron Heyward seems to really put his head down and care about the community, and that matters, man, and it really does matter to me. So I'm not sure about you guys. Challenger 16, the Rooney Rule has only benefited Mike Tomlin. He would have been gone a long time ago anywhere else. Absolutely, he probably would have been fired anywhere else a long time ago. I don't think the Rooney Rule is as effective as they thought it was going to be. There's still a very small percentage of minority head coaches in the NFL. What is it? Like 9 at the most, I think, maybe. I'm not sure. But I know it was a low percentage, so I don't know if that rule has really worked for them. Again, I'm not that type of guy. I think race shouldn't matter for anything at all. I think it should just be we're all people. You come in, whoever interviews the best gets the job. And I see why the Rooney Rule was put in place, though, because they weren't getting the interviews. And I think that was a travesty, too. But I think there's better ways to approach it, and I hope the NFL develops some better ways to approach it and builds off that Rooney Rule to make things better. That's all you can hope for. We'll see how it goes. Nover. True challenger. Look at the variable, or look at Vrabel. He was fired after having a winning season. Winning seasons. Here, everyone seems to blame anyone but Tomlin. Absolutely. Guys, why are there so many Mike Tomlin apologists? Is just not having a losing season for whatever it is, because this record matters zero to me. I think it's a stupid statistic. Why do people not hold Mike Tomlin accountable? Why are there a lot of Mike Tomlin apologists? What makes you apologize for the mediocrity? Why is it okay? I had a commenter, and I'm not sure. Some of you regular guys that are here a lot, that read a lot or watch a lot of our content and contribute in the chat, you may have seen this comment. A guy said to me, he said, "Hey man, the minute you guys lose Mike Tomlin, you won't even sniff the playoffs or a winning season," as I think how he put it. Get a life, bro. Come on, man. That's just crazy talk to me. Mike Tomlin doesn't mean that much in the win and loss column, if you ask me. He really doesn't. I think, yes, he's a decent coach. I'll give him that. I think the players like him, but he is bad situationally. He is bad at making decisions, personnel-wise. He's bad at analyzing and evaluating talent, evidently, because you let Mason Rudolph sit on the bench for 6 years and barely gave him a chance. You couldn't draft a cornerback before Joey Porter that was worth a shit. You have tough time drafting inside linebackers. Look at Devin Bush. Look at the position as a whole. You have a hard time getting some of these things done as a head coach. And you can't pass the buck throughout the organization because Mike Tomlin hired him. If you believe Art Rooney says Mike hires all these people. So who's to blame? Who's ultimately to blame? And then in the city of Pittsburgh, we have a lot of people that don't want to blame Mike Tomlin, period. That's just the way it goes. All right, okay, why? I suppose that's fair. There's just been many snubs in many years, so it's wasteful to constantly argue it. A QB wasn't the MVP this year. Yeah, he was. Drew Brees was MVP in 2 different years. They don't care. Yeah, Lamar Jackson's the quarterback. He won the MVP this year. Okay, he did. Yeah, and I think he was the best guy in the regular season, but Lamar Jackson is just that, and the Baltimore Ravens fans have to live with a guy that can't win a big game. That's just where they're at. All right, let me get another drink, guys. Man, I need to start bringing beer, vodka.
Yeah, tequila or something down here. Get real animated. All right, Nova Racer. The awards, the Pro Bowl, all that crap is making the NFL into a joke anymore. Flag football game for the Pro Bowl, ridiculous. Yeah, I can't get on board with it. I'm cool with some of the skill stuff that they did, some of those fun competitions. Yeah, I just can't get on board with the flag football shit, guys. I can't. I really, really can't. I think it's waste. My kids played flag football for a while, a couple seasons, and I coached. And I have to say, it was not an enjoyable sport if you're a fan of contact football, tackle football. It's just not enjoyable for me. I didn't find it enjoyable. It's definitely a different game. It takes. They always talk about equality and all this shit, and everybody's on the same playing field. But I think flag football is a game that eliminates kids that weigh a little bit too much, that aren't as athletic, that would play the line and shit like that. They have no place in flag football. So that kind of defeats that, bullshit that people got going on. So just saying, it's not the game I would want to play, but my kids didn't like it either after a while. Challenger, woke guilt, it's fine. The media's narrative. Hey, yeah, no doubt, man. Challenger 16, he's Marvin Lewis 101. Yeah, Marvin Lewis couldn't win anything either in the playoffs. Challenger, you nailed it. Beer Malls, someone got to say it. I was trying to get my words right to post it. Yeah, guys, I'm not gonna ever, how do I say it? I'm not gonna sit here and try to be super politically correct all the time. I'm a nice guy. I'm not going to be ignorant to people. I'm not going to try to cause problems with anybody or anything like that. But the truth is the truth, and the truth is always got to be said. And I feel like it's my obligation as the guy that runs this channel to give you always the truth as I see the truth. And that's all I can do, and that's what I hope to do moving forward. So the more I can do that, that's all, that's my goal. All right, guys, if you haven't hit the like button, go up in the top three little dots up in the right-hand corner of your screen and hit that button. Hit that like button. Send it into YouTube algorithm and get this thing rolling. Anything else going on inside of the Steelers world that we want to talk about, guys? Anything going on that I haven't heard that we haven't brought up yet? Please bring it up and let me know. I do want to know, though, guys, what you're thinking about Mike Sullivan before we get off here, too. What do you think the Steelers are going to do with him? Has anybody said it? Has anybody said? Let's try to look real quick if we can. If they've released that yet, guys. I want to make sure. Mike Sullivan. Let's see. Mike Sullivan, American football coach. Steelers to retain. Here's the update. All right. Ron Cook. Or no, Joe Clark. Sorry. Ron Cook retired. Let's see if they Steelers is on me, but they are still in arrangement with former discussion for some arrangement. So they haven't decided yet, guys. They are still in some trying to figure out some arrangement, some discussion for quarterback coach Mike Sullivan, former quarterback coach Mike Sullivan. So I'm wondering what they will do with him, man. Do you guys have any ideas? Do you think he would be like a quality control guy? There's teams like I saw Indianapolis had offensive quality control coordinators. Maybe that's something that he could do. Maybe the passing game coordinator type guy. Maybe that's something he can do. Maybe he could be the assistant quarterbacks coach. I'm wondering. I'm really wondering what they're going to do with Mike Sullivan, and even if there is a spot for him inside of the organization. Challenger 16. Considering our QB's play, Sullivan really hasn't done well. No. Do you give him credit for Mason Rudolph, guys? Do you give Mike Sullivan credit for Mason Rudolph's success this season in the final 4 games that he started for the Pittsburgh Steelers here? Do you give Mike Sullivan that credit? Or where do you give that credit? Or is it all for Mason? Because he was the third string guy. He wasn't getting a ton of reps. He ain't getting a ton of shit out there in practice-wise. So the coaches probably aren't up his ass working with him. Was that more of a Mason thing? Off-season, hiring guys on his own, personal trainer type guys, to where he was working on his craft outside of that building. Was that more of why Mason had his success in the latter part of the season? I'm just wondering if anybody gives credit to former quarterbacks coach Michael Sullivan. Beer Malls gives it to Mason. I got to agree. I don't think that was Sully. That was Tomlin refusing to let our best QB play. Kenny just isn't it, and Mitch has always been Mitch. I agree. I want to bring up another comment too, Nova. There, I agree with your comment there. Another guy told me that I'm crazy if I think it's absolutely impossible for Kenny to get any better. I said it's not. I never said that it was impossible. I want to get that out there. I never said that it was impossible, that Kenny could never get better. I'm not saying that. Because honestly, guys, if Kenny would miraculously do really well and do good things, that does good things for my football team that I root for. I'm happy. I don't care. But I just don't think with the variables in place right now that Kenny has a great chance. He doesn't really have a great chance to succeed. I just don't think he does. I just don't. What's to really get fired up about? His inaccuracies, his inability to read the defenses, his happy feet, the way he bails out of clean pockets, the way he checks the shit down, his lack of arm strength. What's to get fired up about now? We've seen it, and the tape doesn't lie. We said that the other day. All right, Beer Malls. Dude has been quiet and has studied the game. Absolutely. Being humble, staying quiet, staying inside yourself, knowing your role, learning by watching and really soaking in everything that you see, really hearing the plays in your headset as the quarterback, letting them run through your head. And as you break down that tape, rerunning it again, listening to the play calls, learning how to call the checkdowns, call the protections, learning how to get out of different situations, thinking of different ways to get out of certain situations. Hey, we're in a run play here. We're dive left. This defense presents itself to me this way. I'm gonna switch up the plays and switch it up in a big way because I could see the potential for a big play out there. Those are the types of things you got to get moving if you're a quarterback. You got to get going in your head. It's a big thing, man. Kenny wasn't even good until the 5th year in college when he was older than everybody else. Yeah, absolutely. But guys, I will say this in defense of Kenny, which I'm not a big Kenny defender anymore. I used to be. Terry Bradshaw didn't get really good until year 5 or so. So I mean, there is a glimmer of hope, but I just highly, highly doubt it. A Terry Bradshaw type guy comes around once in a gazillion years. So yeah, I highly doubt that that's going to be Kenny's path. I just don't think so. Challenger 16, if Tomlin wants to save his grace with Rooney, he needs to get rid of Harvin like yesterday. Guys shouldn't have him back this season. He stinks. Absolutely, guys. The punter situation's got to change. And I don't think it's going to, though. I really, really don't. And the reason being is Chris Boswell. Not Chris Boswell, the person, but Chris Boswell's production and Harvin holding for him. And I don't think any NFL franchise would risk messing that up during the season anyway. That's kind of why they kept going back to him. I just think it would be a really slim chance that they get rid of him because of the way, the chemistry that Boswell and Harvin have from kicker to holder. I really think that that's something that's important to them. And I don't know, maybe a different holder really screws Boswell up next year if that's the case. I don't know. But having your punter as the holder, I mean, you're going to have that dynamic. And if the punter fails and the punter does poorly, you might have to live with it for a little bit. I just think he's shitty, man, for sure. Hey, Mark farted, guys. He put it in there. He farted again. Sorry, Mark. I hope it didn't hurt, buddy. Robert Rowe, Bradshaw had super elite physical abilities. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying, Robert, for sure. It's not the same. I can't compare Kenny Pickett in the same breath as Terry Bradshaw. I just cannot. I cannot do that. Nova Racer, there is no way for him to fix the problems he has from his last start until the first game next season. No way to simulate the NFL pass rush. Absolutely not. We've said it so many times, and there's so many people that still will defend him, man, no doubt, and they still have high hopes for him. And that's cool, man, to be encouraged about a guy that's probably going to be your starter. But I just think it's a failure if the Steelers don't have a real contingency plan behind Kenny in the form of Mason Rudolph or some other quality veteran quarterback or a young stud that they draft or something. And I don't think I would really try to waste the draft capital when you know Mason Rudolph can get it done at an economical price. You could still be under that or not be under that big quarterback salary that you were under for so many years with Big Ben Roethlisberger. When you pay a quarterback like you saw the Ravens pay Lamar now, Patrick Mahomes makes a bunch of money. It hurts. It hurts. Josh Allen, you're seeing the Bills not be as good as they were originally when Josh started being good. That quarterback salary chips into that, and it really starts to take effect throughout the roster. And you got to be super good at drafting players. You got to be super good at evaluating talent, cheap free agents to build your team. You have to be able to do those types of things if you have an inflated quarterback salary, considering you have guys like TJ, Minka, Cam, guys that are up there a 20 million a year type mark. You're looking at those guys and looking at that money, and that eats up a shit ton of salary cap and a handful of players if you have a big name quarterback, for sure. All right, let's get back to some of the comments. Mason, I would have booed that performance to you. He has been getting ready for the chance. He's obviously gained the respect of the locker room. Absolutely, man. Beer Malls, the first 3-4 games, Harvin was great, but he just went downhill. That's his whole problem, Beer Malls. Lacks consistency. He is not consistent. And you can't come out and he's consistent at one thing, shanking 20-yarders and putting the Steelers defense in bad spots and not flipping that field, and that hurts, man. Those are game-changing type kicks, and the punter really has a big, significant role inside of an NFL football game. That field position is everything, and Harvin kills the Steelers a lot of the time, man, for sure. Boz had other holders before Harvin. Yeah, he did. But he's been ultra consistent like last season, and I think that's why they kept him challenger. That's the only reason I can think of. I'm not saying that's the definitive answer, but that's the real reason that I can, or the only true reason I think that they would have kept him. You know what I mean? Nova Racer Harvin is a prime example of how Tomlin plays his pets, like Dan Moore, and how he hardly played Jalen and Kenny and Mitch instead of Mason. Yeah, his personnel decisions aren't always there, man. Absolutely not. He's not good at that, and it shows. It shows horribly. Maddie Monderson, who do you want to win the? Oh, sorry guys. Who do you want to win the Super Bowl? I don't want any of them to win, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs, just because they know how to win. Nova Racer put anybody but the Chiefs, no doubt. Maddie says, "Shut up, Nova." All right, Beer Malls. I remember seeing an NFL film show where the players' coach Tomlin was like, "Hey, Ben, you know how to Dougie the dance?" Ben was like, "I don't want to know how to do the Dougie." Yeah, Ben had some shitty, crazy stuff going on, or shitty answers. Sometimes he's a little bit of a smartass. I thought it was funny, though. To know, 5, TJ got cheated by Myles. Absolutely, we've talked about that. It's ridiculous. Nova Racer, I can't stand Crybaby Mahomes. His tantrums this season were epic. Yeah, he does throw some fits, dude. He gets fired up. Michael Stetler, yo, what's up? What's up, man? Beer Malls, Tomlin created a free-for-all locker room. It seems that way, and it seems like some of the players called that situation out. Absolutely. Here in the postseason. James, the NFL is going down, lost all credibility. Eventually, it's going to be felt in the ratings. It has to be. You wonder about that. When you look to do some of the things that you're being accused of, when you give an award like they did last night to Myles Garrett, it shows something to me. It really does. And I don't know how long you keep hiding it, maybe. Benny Steelers, he should be Dpoy. No doubt. TJ Watt, like I said, is the defensive player of the year, or should be. All indications point to he should be. He won AFC Defensive Player of the Year, but yet gets beat out by a guy that he beat for AFC Defensive Player of the Year for NFL Defensive Player of the Year. Explain that variable, guys. How do you get beat out by the guy you beat out for the conference award? Makes no sense. It absolutely don't. Happy birthday, M Nub, my B-Day. M, yeah. Mub 22, happy birthday. Shout out for you, man. Thank you. Now hit that subscribe button if you're not already, bro. I'll give you that shout out. All right, happy birthday, Mub. Never race. So that was the excuse he used to keep Harvin, that he is good for the holder to let him keep shanking 25-yard. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's just the only reason I could think of for sure. That's the only way that I think that they could have justified keeping him in any way, because he kills the damn Steelers, man. He does. You're getting a lot of birthday wishes there, M Dub. Sean Downey want to ask Myles Garrett what it's like to be pounced on by Pouncey. Yeah, I wouldn't jack around with Pouncey. I think he could whoop some ass, dude. Especially back when he was built up heavy. Now he's kind of skinny and shit, but he might be quick. To know 555 Hines Ward, a wide receiver coach, not for the Steelers. They hired Asani from the wide receiver coach for the Jets, and now he is for the Steelers. Benny Steelers, the stat lines line up as TJ has more touchdowns, more sacks, everything. It's annoying. Go Steelers. Yeah, no doubt, bro. You're exactly right, Benny. He led in every major statistical category and still got shit on by the NFL so they could push their bullshit narrative of Myles Garrett being the anointed one that they did in October. They said that they wanted him to be Dpoy, and lo and behold, the NFL gets exactly what it wants, and the big machine continues to push their narrative. It is what it is. All right. Hey, guys, if you're not liking, hit the like button in the top little corner there. You'll see three dots. Hit that and then hit like and do that for me. I'd appreciate it. Also, if you're not subscribed, subscribe and share the videos. I appreciate you for coming through here. This is Mike Drop Sports. I'm Jason. This is our Friday edition of our live show. Also, guys, we're going to have to come up with a name for our live show. We need to figure it out. So ideas are all welcomed. Just let us know. You don't have to put them in now, but through the comments, through the shows, let me know. Camster, hi, I'm new and it's my birthday. Happy birthday to the Camster. Welcome to the channel. And we appreciate having you, bro. Nova Racer, everyone needs to read Myles Garrett, Factory of Sadness 12, 27, 22. Yeah, for sure. He sent that to me, and it is a great article. It is a must read for sure. Challenger 16, injured Watt had as much impact as Garrett did in the playoffs. Absolutely. Myles Garrett didn't have a sack in his last 7 games, guys. Nick Herbig had more sacks in the last 7 games than Myles Garrett did. The guy that won Defensive Player of the Year for the first 2 months of the season being decent. Just saying. It wasn't a collective body of work, that's for sure. KG, yo, what's up? Or what's good, bro? Not much. Welcome, man. Thanks for coming through. James, Myles knows the award belongs to TJ, but what do you expect from a liar? Yeah, no shit, bro. No doubt. HOU Sports, let's go Steelers. No shit, let's do it, babe. All right, Nova Racer. I don't know if you can post that link to the site, Jay. I can't figure out how to do it on my. I do know, Nova. I will do that. I will post that in the community tab. So, guys, look out for that article we were talking about about Myles Garrett from 2022. I will post a link in the community tab on the channel page for everybody to be able to go check and read that. It's a good read. It'll give you some insight about Myles Garrett for sure. H. Santos, you just talk about Pitbull, or are you talking about other sports? What do you mean, Pittsburgh? No, I don't talk about basketball or anything like that. Just never been into it, so no. But I'll talk about whatever you guys want. Bring it up. Robert Road, playoff game on Prime next year. Streaming and needing to spend money for too many different services, or not being able to watch the games is yeah, guys. That I think is bothersome. I think the NFL's fouling up with that shit. You don't put this stuff on. You shouldn't have to pay to watch any of the NFL games. The ad revenue, the amount of money they make from their jersey sales, products, all the revenue they make, the stadium ticket sales, the TV network deals, all that kind of stuff. They make more than ample money. They are becoming super greedy, man, and there got to be a limit to this shit. And I think making it to where some people can't enjoy it, you're going to lose a lot of your fan base. And a lot of your fan base are common folks, man, that just like to enjoy going to work, coming home, working hard. They may not have a ton of money, but they want to be able to pay their cable bill and be able to watch some quality NFL football, especially playoff games. And you can't do that to them. That's ignorant and that's bullshit. And that's just my opinion. Nova Myles was already in trouble for punching another player before he did that to Mason. Yeah, he was. He's a dick bag, man. I just can't get on board with Myles Garrett. I've never liked him at all. Great chat. Yeah, man, it is pretty cool. Just subscribe. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you, HOU Sports. I appreciate you, bud. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for coming along and bullshitting with us, James. Dude, that's been a thought of mine for a while. As why Mason has been benched. Yeah, no doubt. I think you were talking to somebody else. Nova. That was a Browns writer who wrote it too. Yeah, that's really crazy. Nice stat drop, Jason. Thanks, man. Benny Steelers, do you think Arthur Smith will be good this year? Benny, I think Arthur Smith has a real great chance, and the Steelers are setting him up for success right now, in my eyes. When you are allowing him the ability to go out there and find the guys that he needs in order to be successful, I think you're creating a good environment, man. You're creating a quality work environment, one that people aren't going to be miserable in, and I think that can only mean good things. And I think with the mix of young and old and new and innovative, and Arthur knows what works. He was a quality coordinator back in Tennessee, had a great offense. He has head coaching experience. I think that there's just a lot of good things that are coming together in the city of Pittsburgh for this Steelers team. I really, really do. I like the direction that the offense is going. We'll see how it pans out. I could be dead wrong, but I think that the moves that they are making so far are good. But they have to get this quarterback situation taken care of because Kenny Pickett isn't it, man. Beer Malls Benny's got a QB. Yes, yeah. If he has a QB, he'll be good, man. No doubt. Do you think Kenny Pickett will be starting again, Elijah? I think yes. I don't want to admit that because I don't want it to happen. I think Mason Rudolph deserves to get that nod. I think he earned it, but I think they're going to have to figure out how to re-sign him. And but I think Mike Tomlin and that staff is committed to Kenny, and I think that Mike Tomlin will have the final word with that, and I think he's going to will Kenny out there again, and we'll see how long Mike Tomlin allows it to go on if Kenny doesn't produce. We'll just see. We'll see how that goes, but I'm not sure if there will be a true competition. We'll see. Robert Rowe, TJ beat Garrett or tied him in every meaningful stat. Absolutely, dude. He did. Benny Steelers and who will be our quarterback next year? Justin Fields, Rudolph, Kenny, or Penix? I think it's going to be Kenny, and I hope Mason wins a battle and starts. That's what I hope. I think that is the cleanest, most economical path for the Steelers to be able to surround whatever quarterback is playing with a quality team and set up Arthur Smith for a good first year. A good first year to start being different and getting things going, man, with some quality talent around a quarterback that can run like a play action, run heavy system. Hold on, we'll do that. Papa Louie, you know what happens when TJ gets snubbed? He goes off and ties, breaks records. I hope he does, dude. I hope he has a big year. Morgan, I'll subscribe if you say hi. Jaquante DeMarcus. Well, hello, Jaquante DeMarcus. Go ahead, Morgan. There you go. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you. You sounds like you are voicing over the NFL. What do you mean by that, Cammy? Let me know. HOU Chiefs or Chiefs? I picked the Chiefs. A lot of people were torn with that too. Okay, he's your brother. There you go, Morgan. I said what's up. All right, David Barnes. Would love to have Fields. The Bears are a dumpster fire. We have the weapons and culture. I'd love to get him for his second-round pick. I'm afraid we end up with Russell freaking Wilson. I think either would be bad, David Barnes. I really, really do. I think gaining a quarterback that has 38 fumbles in his brief NFL career, a guy that forces the football into bad situations, I think you're asking for a Kenny 2.0 if you bring Justin Fields in. The only difference between Kenny and Justin is Justin loses the football and creates turnovers and has a little bit more athleticism. That's about all. Kenny can run too, but he's nowhere near the athlete Justin Fields is. I just don't think Justin Fields is a quality NFL franchise type quarterback, and I don't think I would give up big time draft capital in like a second round pick. And Russell Wilson, in my opinion, I just think he's old. I just don't want to go back and rewind time. That's why I'm on board for Mason. He's young. He proved it. He's cheap. I just think it's the right answer, and we'll see how that goes. Nova, the only made up stat that Myles was better was pass rush win rate. Yeah, that's that. Yeah. So when the left tackle lets him run by the QB on a run play, they call it a win. It's a joke. Absolutely. That's that pro football focus bullshit nerd football that people always got to put everything into these stats, dude. I get it. Stats mean a ton, but you got to watch the games. You got to see what makes it meaningful for a player. You got to look at things. Everything isn't a number. You got to look at how they play and what kind of impact they have on the football game also. I think that is a big variable. And to make up stupid statistics like Pro Football Focus does all the time doesn't mean someone's some superior athlete or they're better than this person or better than that person. I just think it's sometimes a little bit too much. I like analytics, but I hate it at the same time. All right. Beer Malls, the NFL's like Elon Musk of sports, no doubt. No Fields and no Russ. I agree, Nova. Elijah, who do you think that will be in the Super Bowl next year? Shoot. I don't know. I'm hoping the damn Pittsburgh Steelers. I want to see. Since I have no rooting interest in the NFC, I really want to see the Detroit Lions make it to the Super Bowl. I think that would be a cool story. So I'll pick Detroit. I'm going to say Pittsburgh, Detroit Super Bowl next year in 2025. All right. Jay, go Steelers, MC Prod. Bruh, Myles is overrated. Absolutely. TJ Watt literally led the sacks, complete game record, but you give it to Myles Garrett. No doubt, bro. Benny Steelers just like the scrub. You're off. Thanks, Benny. I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you, bro. James, the Steelers has always been understaffed as far as coach assistants go. So don't blame that on Tomlin. That's a Rooney thing. Mike don't control the purse strings. I'll say that Mike don't control the purse strings, but I have heard from several different people that the reason the coaching staff is so small is because of Mike Tomlin and his micromanaging ways. Now, I'm not sure if that's true. I can't say that is. And I'm not saying that you're wrong there, James. I'm just saying what I've heard. And I've heard that Mike Tomlin has free reign to hire whoever he would like to hire. And he has chosen to keep a close, small, tight-knit group. And maybe that is the problem. And he has chosen to hire from within. And when you're talking coordinator money, and then you're looking at head coaching money and player money, does the real coordinator money matter that damn much? In my eyes, is that going to be that big of a hit anywhere? Are you going out and paying a coordinator $5, $6, $7 million a year? I don't think you are. I think you're paying them, maybe a top shelf one and a half, maybe. I'm just guessing. I don't know. I'm just saying. MC Pro, do you think we should trade for a Fields or any other quarterback? No, I don't think so. I think they need to stand pat and re-sign Mason Rudolph. That's my opinion. I think in the draft in the first round they need to grab an offensive tackle and hope that the run on tackles doesn't start before they or get too deep where the Steelers can't gain a good tackle. I think they need to grab a tackle in the draft in the first round. And then I think they need to get Zach Frazier in the second round if he's still available out of West Virginia, the center. That's my hopes. All right. Let's see. Sorry, guys. If I'm missing any of your comments, I'm very sorry. I'm trying to go through. Twins for life. Steelers suck. Chiefs going to win the Super Bowl. All right, dude, you're allowed to not like the Steelers. That's cool. Chiefs probably are going to win the Super Bowl, actually. Twins for life. There you go. All right, MC Prod. Is Minka Fitz declining or something? Had a way better season last year. I know he was injured some. He just had a very injury-riddled season, and I think teams go away from him when he's in there because they know that he is good. But when you're injured in that way, and there's more injuries, those injuries that we know of, and then there's all the football injuries that we don't hear about the little bumps, the bruises, the nicks, the nagging things that we just don't hear about. And I think he dealt with a lot of that this year. And I think it really caught up with him. And I'm hoping that a year to where he had that many, maybe next year he got it all out of his system. But if he has another one like that, I'd consider getting out from underneath that contract if I'm the Steelers. That's just my thing. Nova, make sure you hit the like button. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Twins for life. Yeah, man. You got to make your comment. Make sure you hit that like button, buddy. Jesse Salazar. Really starting to hate the NFL. Shaking my head. I love this. I love my Steelers. Yeah, the NFL sucks. Hey, thanks, Beer Malls. Appreciate the super chat. Beer Malls comes in with the super chat. JPJ gonna have a huge year next year. Abso-freaking-lutely, Beer Malls. Thank you, my friend. I don't think Mink is declining. The whole defense got so beat up trying to keep Kenny in games until he gets a first down in the fourth quarter. Absolutely, no doubt. Nova, I think you hit on that too. The defense got beat up, man. They really did when you're on the field constantly. The time of possession for the Steelers wasn't there at the beginning of the season. Yes, Kenny was winning games, but I think a lot of that was from the defense. You saw that Cleveland game. Would Kenny make one big play to George Pickens that first Cleveland game? And then the defense really won that game. TJ Watt picking up a fumble forced from Alex Highsmith out of Deshaun Watson for a touchdown. You had an interception returned by Alex Highsmith on the first pass of the game for a touchdown. That game wasn't won by Kenny Pickett. So that's just an example of how the wins were getting done. And it wasn't just because of Kenny Pickett. Yes, he had a couple fourth quarter comebacks, but the defense played significant roles in that. Big time roles. Luke Walters has to be the worst Dpoy awarded 14 sacks is nothing. Absolutely. Roberta Campbell. What's up, Roberta? I ain't seen you in the chat here in a live. Welcome, Roberta. I think 1-11 when TJ is not on the field speaks volumes. That is impacting games. Absolutely, Roberta. Thanks for joining in tonight, Roberta. All right, Sean Downey. There ain't going to be no 30 million Fields or Super Bowl teams were built through the draft, and we'll do it again. Yeah, I can't agree, because if you do trade for Fields, guys, you got to remember you're gonna have to pay him big bucks the next year. If he's any good, you're gonna have to keep him. I just don't think it's worth it, man. I can't get on board with that trade. And there's some media guys out there that are, ringing the bell for Justin Fields to come to Pittsburgh. And I think that is a grave mistake in terms of so many things, so many variables at play there that could really be detrimental for the Pittsburgh Steelers moving forward. All right, guys, we've been on here for about 81 minutes. My voice is starting to hurt pretty good. So I'm going to make sure. I'm going to probably bounce off air. Sorry if I missed any of your comments at the end. But I'm going to wrap this show up again. Thank you guys so much for joining us here at Mike Drop Sports. We will be live at least 3 to 4 times a week. So subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. That way you know when we're going to go live. But for right now, it is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then we're going to have a surprise fill-in day where we'll just pick a random day. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday will be our definitive live show days. Every Wednesday, I will have Sean on with me. Unless he has something going on, and any other time he wants to join me. But I will mention this, guys, before I get off here. I'm going to be looking to, I'm going to have, I won't do it every week, but probably once a month. I want to bring on somebody from the chat, from the channel. I want to bring somebody on to talk Steelers, to give them the opportunity to come on and join me live for a little bit and speak their minds. So we want to try to do that. So we'll try to think of a way to be able to do that. So we'll figure it out. But I want to try to do that for sure. I think that would be a really cool thing to do. Gives people the opportunity to do it. Who's behind me? Nobody's behind me. My dog was behind me. She was laying right here. Yeah, the one that was farting the other night, if you were here on the live show, she about gagged me out. So, yeah, she's a big chocolate lab who's a big baby and got to be right next to her dad. So, yeah. But anyway, guys, I got to get off here. My voice is killing me. You guys, awesome support yet again, and I thank you guys so very much. Again, guys, thank you for the super chats, all those types of things. I really, truly appreciate it. And your support has been overwhelming. So thank you so, so much. And until next time, this is Mike Drop Sports. I'm Jason, and we'll see you Monday for our next live show. But we will have daily uploads Saturday and Sunday on our regular morning shows that we put out. So look for those, like them, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. So until next time, peace, guys. What's up, Coast family? See you, man.